is a force of creativity, connection, and culture, and she's just getting started. A Forbes 30 and Under 30 Cleveland honoree, Lily is a high-energy DJ, radio host, author, speaker, and media personality whose passion for music and storytelling has ignited the stages, classrooms, and airwaves across the country. She began her journey in 2020 to bond with her DJ father over music and quickly transformed that passion into a platform with purpose. DJ Lily has taken the stage at major events, including the Democratic National Convention, NBA All-Star Weekend, NFL Draft, Cleveland Cavaliers pregame show, and much, much more. In 2021, Lily self-published her debut book, From the Booth, promoting youth empowerment. Her community outreach includes an annual sock drive for the unhoused. Every Saturday on 95.9 FM WOVU Cleveland, she hosts interviews with top names like Dawn Staley, Caitlin Clark, Denzel Ward, Holly Rowe, Caitlin Wenga, and more. She has also served as Cleveland Cavaliers Kid Club Junior Reporter and a proud brand ambassador for the Cleveland Public Library. Lily is the co-host of the TV show More Childhood Please, and her achievements have earned her the Helping Hands Award from the Adams Board and the 2024 Kidpreneur of the Year honor from the Pink and Black Honors. When not DJing or broadcasting, Lily enjoys recording music, playing bassoon, exploring Roblox, eating pepperoni pizza, and inspiring her little sister, Lena Jewell. She credits her success to the love and support of her family and friends. Can we welcome DJ Lily? Dr. Sue, right? Hey,
It's going to happen.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Now, real quickly before I get started, my principal right now is excusing me. And I don't think she believes me right now, so just in case, for some proof, let me just get a selfie so I can show her that I'm teaching teachers right now. I'm teaching teachers. Dad, if you can take this real quick. If you can take this from me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Well, once again, good morning, everybody. I first want to thank y'all for having me. I am super excited to be here with educators. Because if I'm being honest, educators are what you help to shape the students into what they believe they are. But my name is DJ Lily Jade. As Greta stated, I am a DJ, author, media personality, and also a kid who really loves learning, especially when it connects to creativity. So I have a quick question for all y'all. How many of you have students who love music? Thought that would be almost everybody. But today, I want to talk about something I have experienced firsthand. How music, literacy, and belonging can change how students show up in school. Because when students feel connected, everything changes. That's what Beats, Books, and Belonging is all about. Now, before we get started, I want to get a little bit about myself. I started DJing when I was literally just 5 years old. Yes, I know what you're thinking. I was 5. I was just trying to bond with my dad, but something amazing happened from that point. Music became my confidence booster, my creativity outlet, and eventually, my voice. And through that, I found ways to connect learning to things I already loved. I use music, like a microphone, for my generation, to tell stories, to educate, and to celebrate who we are and where we come from exactly. So whether I'm rocking the turntables or speaking into the mic, I'm always trying to lift people up and make sure young voices, like mine, get heard. Because I might be a child, but this kid's got a big voice. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, but in quarantine, in quarantine when it had just started in March of 2020. Everything was shut down. My friends were stuck at home, and recently my dad was super sad because his dad, my grandpa, had just had a heart attack. He had been staying at the hospital, but once lockdown hit, they kicked everybody out. Nobody could stay. So my dad went straight into the basement, and for hours, just DJing over and over and over again. And you know that feeling when you hear the same song, they're just playing over and repeat, where you just like, never again, please make it stop. That's what my dad was doing. I'm gonna just state that right there. Put that down. Put it down. But then he looked, I'm like I said, I couldn't take it anymore. So then one day, 5, walked down, I'm stomping down to the basement. Dad, your music's trash. He was very offended that day. So then he looked at me and he said, you think you can do any better? And of course, I said, of course I can. I'm me. And then that's basically where it all started. He taught me how to use Serato, how to blend tracks on the turntable, how to listen like a DJ. And from then on, we started battling MySpace versus TikTok, me versus him. But in all seriousness, I won every time. Just to get that out there, if y'all can hear, I won every time. And he's just salty about that, so you don't like hearing that. But once our lives were on Facebook, our little battles went viral. And then, suddenly, I was on the local news, I played at the NFL draft, I DJ'd a Cavaliers game, and then WOBU 95.9 FM, executive producer, hit me up, and he asked my dad, would you like our own show on here? I shrugged, and I'm like, sure, why not? Sounds cool. So then, just like that, the Lily Jade Show was born. But here's the reason why I kept going. I started because I was curious, and because someone encouraged me. That encouragement matters, because when us kids feel supported, we try more, we risk more, we grow more. Okay, so a lot of people will see me DJ and they think it's just about playing music. But here's the real thing. I'm not just a DJ, but I'm a scholar too. And being a DJ made me better at school because it activated all these different parts of my brain. People sometimes assume creative things distract from school. But for me, DJing actually helped me. It helped me read more, speak more confidently, think critically, get curious about science and technology. Creativity didn't compete with education, but it powered it. And just to say what these pictures are, this right here is my awards ceremony. This is me doing my homework in between gigs. Speaking of my principal, there's me taking a picture with her while getting accepted into National Honor Society, and that last one is me reading in between gigs. But let me keep it real for y'all. DJing didn't just teach me how to play music, it taught me how to read, write, and even spell under pressure. And why, you may ask? Because when people would come up with a song request, oh my gosh, half the time they don't even know what the song is. And oh my gosh, when you tell, they just hit me with the chorus. And I'm like, it's like, do you know the one that goes like, if I wrote you a symphony? Ma'am, who are we talking about? There could be so many different people that were trying to state here. Do we mean Justin Timberlake, Neo, Babyface? So I type in whatever lyrics they gave me, scroll through a list of titles and artists, and read each one carefully to find the match. That made my vocabulary deeper, my reading faster, and my spelling way better. Because I'm gonna tell you right here, trust me. If you can't spell Beyonce on the spot, you might as well just give up. Just right there, you might as well just give up. And eventually, I became an author myself. And that's what helped me write my book, From the Booth, when I was just 7 years old. And guess what? I even wrote it on my school computer. So I had my resources, because it was still we were still in quarantine. And this is before they were blocking websites. I'm gonna just put that out there. This is before they were blocking websites. Oh my gosh. And eventually, I started writing my own songs. And that's how my song Girl Boss came to life. And when I build a set, I don't... Okay. Sorry. When I build a set, I don't just pick songs at random. I have to think about tempo, lyrics, energy, transitions, and the mood of the room. I might start with the plan, but when DJ Scratch told me when I interviewed him, you've got to read the room. That means if I see people zoning out, I switch it up. If I feel like energy is rising, I double down. That's not just DJ skill. That's real-time critical thinking. Even when I was first learning how to scratch, I remember practicing scratching for the first time. It wasn't the best. It was not the best. I was thinking while I was first learning, this looks really easy. No, it was not. It was not. And at first it sounded messy and the timing was off. And I had to really pay attention. That's where the critical thinking came in. First, you have to observe. That's analysis. When I was learning to scratch, I had to observe everything. How my hand moved, how the sound changed, how timing affected rhythm. I wasn't just playing music, I was analyzing it. And students do this naturally when they're engaged in something they enjoy. They start noticing details, patterns, connections. That's analysis in action. Second, interpret. That's emotional intelligence. Once I observed what was happening, I had to interpret it. Was I rushing? Was I nervous? Was I trying too hard? That takes emotional awareness. Third, respond. That's adaptability. Then I had to respond. I slowed down, practiced differently, adjusted my approach, and eventually it clicked. That's adaptability. Adjusting based on feedback is real critical thinking, and that's a life skill. So another huge thing DJ helped me develop was communication skills. And y'all know, children my age and in my generation do not know how to talk to each other whatsoever. Not without the phone, not without texting, none of that stuff. So with DJ, it taught me how to communicate, but not just talking on a microphone, real communication that it's the kind that students should be using in school, careers, relationships, and leadership. And it shows up in a few ways. When I interview guests on a radio show, I can't just show up and talk to them. I have to do my research, prepare thoughtful questions, think about what the audience wants to learn. That builds preparation skills, curiosity, and confidence. And honestly, when students prepare to communicate, they think more deeply. That's academic communication. Today, students are growing up in a media world. They're not just consuming content, they're creating it themselves. DJing taught me how to present myself responsibly, how to communicate authentically, and how to understand audience impact. And media literacy is really important in education now because students need to know not just how to speak, but how their voice shows up in the world. Sometimes as a DJ though, things do not go as planned. things did not go as planned. Equipment changes, schedules shift, unexpected moments happen. I learned to stay calm. That poise helps everywhere. Class presentations, leadership opportunities, even everyday conversations. Confidence grows with practice. And let me say right here, when I got the opportunity to interview Dawn Staley when the Final Four came to Cleveland, oh my gosh, there's a story I want to tell you. I'm going to tell you. So basically, Final Four came to Cleveland, and I was in the press room, and it was last question for Dawn Staley before it was like time to pack up. Mind you, this is just when South Carolina won. So everybody wanted to talk to her. Everybody wanted to know what she was thinking. So we're like, oh man, we can't ask her a question. So we get onto the court, and you know who we see doing interviews? Dawn Staley. Meanwhile, we're packed up, right? We're done for the day. We see her, and I just run over there. I'm like, that's her. And I don't know, I wasn't thinking at that moment. I just ran. I had my microphone in my hand, and my dad was like looking through the bag to find the microphone. And I jumped in front of the professional camera crew, and I'm like, excuse me, can I have an interview? And she's like, well, where's the camera crew at? And then my dad and my mom were coming over, and that's how I got to interview her. But that right there is teaching you to always be prepared and to always be ready. But yes. But another big skill is learning how to communicate clearly. As a DJ and media personality, I have to think about what message I want to send, who I'm speaking to, how to make it understandable and meaningful. That's literacy. That's writing. That's critical thinking too. Clear communication helps students succeed academically and professionally. And maybe the most important part, listening. As a DJ, I constantly watch audience reactions. Energy shifts, engagement changes, feedback shows up in body language. Students need those listening skills too, because communication isn't just talking, it's understanding. And when students feel heard, they participate more, they learn more, and they belong more. But just so DJing didn't just give me a platform. It didn't just give me a platform. It gave me communication skills that support leadership, literacy, confidence, and connection. And those are skills every student deserves to build. But okay, let's talk about something that people don't always expect about DJing. STEM. Yep, science, technology, engineering, and math. I haven't remembered that in a minute. Because honestly, DJing is basically a live STEM experiment. Every time I perform, sound is science. Frequency, every beat you hear, that vibration, sound waves moving through space. And when students experience science with music, that makes it a lot more fun. DJing also involves a lot of tech, software, controllers, audio engineering, and digital platforms. So students who love music are often already interested in technology. They don't always just realize it yet. Creativity can be the entry point to STEM careers. This one lands especially well at conferences or, here speaking to people. Engineering and sound experiments. Hooking up equipment, testing sound, troubleshooting issues, that's real engineering. And I'm not gonna lie, woo! When I say that there are so many chords, there are so many chords. And sometimes to the point where I gotta pay somebody to do it. My dad. But I don't pay him either. I don't pay him. But sometimes when I'm putting up the chords, it feels like I'm doing a real life puzzle. It's like, even before the music starts, so I'm just working before the fun starts. And students often connect to STEM faster when it's hands-on like this. And then there's rhythm, patterns, timing. That is math. Like recently I had the opportunity to go into Belize, and the currency is different, as you know, in some countries. So for every 2 Belize dollars is $1 from here. So then I had to use my math skills, calculating on the spot to figure out how much it costs in both Belize and here. So that was something else that was math and helping me. That structure, that analytical thinking, I got it. I got it. Students naturally pick this up when they engage with music. And okay, here's another thing that surprises people. Math lives in music. Real math. Because every DJ is constantly counting beats and understanding rhythm mathematically. Even if we don't call it math at first. First, BPM, which stands for beats per minute. It basically tells you how fast or slow a song moves. So when I'm mixing music, I'm actually calculating speed, timing, and rhythm to keep everything flowing smoothly. Then there are loops. When DJs repeat a part of a song, we're often working with fractions. You know, like a half, a fourth, any of that stuff. Half a measure, quarter of a measure, specific beat counts. So when students learn fractions in class, music can actually help make that concept feel real. And honestly, a lot more fun. I keep it in my head when we're learning about fractions. And when DJs blend 2 songs together, we use ratios, matching tempo, adjusting timing, and balancing rhythm. It's basically a mathematical problem solving, just with sound, except without numbers on a worksheet. And we talked about literacy, communication, math, but honestly, this might be the most important thing. DJing gave me belonging. It gave me belonging. Because before students can really learn, they need to feel like they belong somewhere. And for me, DJing became that space. DJing gave me a voice, not just a microphone, but confidence to share my ideas, ask questions, and express myself. When young people feel heard, they show up differently. They participate more, and they believe in themselves more. It also gave me confidence. Confidence to try new things. Confidence to make mistakes and grow. Confidence and to walk into spaces, be the youngest one there, but still know I belong there. And that kind of confidence really supports learning because students take risks when they feel safe. DJing also gave me a platform too. Yep, DJing gave me a platform as well. I've been able to talk about literacy, connect with other young people, share stories, encourage creativity, and platforms don't have to be big. Sometimes it's just giving students a moment to be seen. That can change everything. And finally, leadership. Not the kind where you have a title, but the kind where you influence others positively through music, storytelling, and community work. I've learned that leadership can start young, and educators help make that possible every day. So when I say my groove equals power, I mean my passion helped me find my voice. My voice built confidence, And that confidence created leadership. And every student deserves the chance to find their groove too. Yep, to find their groove too. So, before I wrap it up, I want to leave you a few thoughts. Not as a DJ, not even just as a speaker, but as a student. Because students notice more than we sometimes realize. And small things educators do can make a big difference. When learning connects to something students love, music, art, sports, storytelling, engagement changes, curiosity grows. And sometimes that passion becomes a bridge to academic confidence. That's exactly what happened for me. Students want to be heard, and when they feel heard, they participate more. They think more deeply. They feel heard. And when they feel heard, they participate more, they think more deeply, they take ownership of learning. Sometimes giving students a voice is the most powerful teaching tool. Creativity isn't extra. It supports literacy, STEM learning, communication, and critical thinking. And when creativity shows up in education, students show up more fully. And honestly, this might be the biggest one. Students learn better when they feel like they belong, when they feel seen, when they feel valued. Belonging builds confidence. Confidence fuels learning, and learning opens doors. That's really what Beats, Books, and Belonging is all about. Helping students find their voice, their confidence, and their place. Because when students find their groove, they find their power. And every student deserves that opportunity. Thank you.